but I can see you.
You can hear me? You can see?
Right now, I can see you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You look great.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to see you in this lockdown in Mexico. How is the lockdown in the? Where are you right now?
I'm in London right now, and we are in our third week of lockdown. I think I'm actually losing count. It's very peculiar, isn't it? And we're all taking it a day at a time.
I understand that because being an artist and releasing a single and making all this promotion is quite different in this time. Don't you think so?
Absolutely. It was, yeah, very difficult. I was so excited about my new song, and I was very excited to travel and to promote and perform and do all of those things. So we've just had to be more creative, and I felt like it's a very important time to reach out to people, especially my existing fans. Luckily, we have opportunities like this. I've been doing lots of Q&As and being on Instagram and YouTube and all of those platforms. So even though we're isolated, we can still feel connected.
Yeah, the social media, it's a great tool to be connected in these times. How is your perception of these times, of the anxiety of the people being in four walls, and how the music could help for doing some kind of liberation for these people, not being so quite depressed of the situation around them?
I'm sure you saw the footage that started in Italy on the balconies when people were playing music and singing together. And, music is really a way to bring people together. And also for me, being something that's given me strength. I've always loved music. It's a great way to connect with people. So I found absolutely my personal fan community has been listening to old music and new music, and really sharing those experiences to make us feel closer together.
How different is to promote this new single in this era for what was planned about, I think, 1 month, 2 months ago? I think that you were planning to do these Q&As and to do this kind of interaction all around the world. But how do you feel about using these tools, using Zoom and doing this one-on-one in the digital era?
I think it's a wonderful thing that we have it. At first, it was strange and it took a little getting used to. But now I think, maybe this is something quite positive in the future. I've often had to do promotion in territories where I can't be, and, which isn't the best thing. You want to be there, you want to meet the people. But at least with things like Zoom, I can see you. It makes me feel, more connected to you.
Have you ever planned to do a concert so you can see your audience and see the people that are listening to your songs and reacting to to your music?
I would love to do that. Nothing's ever going to beat being in the same room, in that intimate space, and the feeling the energy of people when you perform. But I'm running a competition at the moment on I think it's through Spotify, and basically a fan can win an opportunity to have like a chat with me. So I am excited because even though I'm reaching out to my fans, I don't see them. So it's going to be nice to be able to have some one-on-ones.
You were talking about Spotify. How do you feel about the people that right now have many time to spend and to invest listening to old music, but also to new music, and in this chance to recognize your new project and your new songs?
I think it's absolutely a really good time to discover new things. Whether that is new artists, new music, whether it's to learn new skills. I think it's hard sometimes to feel motivated. I know I'm definitely feeling that. Sometimes I really want to do things and I feel energetic, and other times I just want to laze around and watch TV. So I think, we've all got a little bit more time in our hands. So it is a good time to look out there and find some new interesting things.
So are you learning new skills?
I want to learn a lot more about the technical aspect of the work that I do. I'd really love to be able to I DJ as well. So I've been doing a little bit of DJing, but I'd like to learn how to program, which would really help in the studio environment, when I'm recording and writing songs.
Tell us about this new single. How was the creative process of this, and how was all the theme around them?
Well, this is the first song, and there's many songs to come this year. And it felt very exciting in the studio because it almost felt like a new chapter was emerging. I feel a lot braver as I'm older, and I feel like I'm exploring a lot more parts of myself that I've never done before. I was working with Richard Stannard, who I've worked with for many years. He was one of our collaborators with the Spice Girls. So we wrote Wannabe, Spice Up Your Life, Mama, To Become One, Goodbye, some of our biggest hits. So it was lovely being in the studio with him, but also being introduced to a younger artist called Bryn Christopher, and he was of the writing session. So it's felt really lovely to feel comfortable with people I know very well, but then work with some new people to really freshen everything up.
Mm-hmm. How was working with people that you know from years ago, and to do new things? How to not repeat formulas, and how to not go to the paths you already know?
Absolutely. That's very important. And I'm always thankful, life gives us many challenges and obstacles to overcome. And I found that a great. But then, musically and for inspiration, I think introducing new people into the team is always a good thing, to have a new ear. And somebody like Biff, Richard Stannard, he's such a lover of pop music, and he's always, excuse me, working with young artists, that it keeps you keep listening to new stuff, and hopefully you are always
Are
evolving.
you experimenting with other genres, other rhythms like reggaeton or something like that?
Well, I've always loved many styles of music, and I think throughout my career I've definitely inspiration, whether it be from rock, dance, R&B, and I'm open. I'm always open. So this album is a lot more electronic. I wanted it to be really danceable, but I wanted the lyrics to be thoughtful and have meaning. So I'm really happy with like the combination. Something like Who I Am, which is the new single, it really explores self-acceptance, but I'm hoping people will want to dance to it
Mm-hmm.
too.
And how to make the balance in the electronic music with the vocals and the rhythm? Because I know you are a DJ, and many times the DJs are preferring the rhythm so they can mix the music. How to make the balance so the lyrics don't get eclipsed by the rhythm, or vice versa?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a skill in itself. And I think every artist has their way they want to express themselves, and for me lyrics are very important. I always want to feel like my songs have meaning, and people will be able to identify with the subject matter. And so that's what helps me. I want it to sound great, but I want it to mean something. So it's just getting both of those things to the compromise.
Mhm. You were telling me that you are feeling much braver now that when you start with the Spice Girls. How do you transmit this virtue? How do you transmit the braveness to your music and to your audiences?
Sorry, what was the question? How do I
Transmit this virtue, the braveness.
transmit?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. I think by, personally for me, I like to be honest. I think if you are, being very genuine with your music and your message, and even your relationship with your audience, for me that's always been something that's very, very important. And I feel like the Spice Girls fans are incredible, and they support us as a band and as individuals. And I think a lot of that is down to us always appreciating them and feeling very grateful that they're the people that enabled us to follow our dreams and passions.
What do you think of the Mel C of the 90s? When you see in retrospective your music and your paraphernalia, what do you think about yourself and all the path, all this way to your new persona right now?
I'm very proud of, especially of my sporty Spice days, being part of the Spice Girls. And, my solo career, it's been a journey. I think like everyone, I can view, sometimes, and I'm very aware that they were difficult times for me personally. So I think, what's really important for me now is to really embrace all of those parts. And I am Sporty Spice, and I'm Mel C, Melanie C, and I'm a mum and a girlfriend and an artist. You know, I'm so many different things, like everybody is. Nobody is one dimensional.
Well, I have to say that with all those personalities, you have a great responsibility with the audience and with your fans, because they are following you between all these years, and always you are an inspiration for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, especially when you're young, it's a huge pressure. You know, Spice Girls, we knew we had a big responsibility, especially because a lot of our fans were very, very young. So I think that's just something we've always been conscious of. And, you know, and I like to think that I'm a good, authentic person. And that is, you know, and has been a
Mhm.
good thing.
How do you feel about yourself in the next 5 years? How do you feel about the music business in the next 5 years?
I think obviously what the whole world is dealing with right now with COVID-19, lots of things are going to change, and it's hard to know what life will be like beyond this. You know, for me, I love to travel. I love to perform in many different countries. So I just hope and pray that that isn't affected too much. I will always continue making music. I think in every industry, this digital world is going to become more and more important to us. So yeah, I think like with everything, you know, times change, and I think we have to try and embrace change. And you know, there's certain things you can't fight. So we just have to try and find the good in the bad.
Well, Melcy, it was a pleasure to see you and to talk with you in
Thank
this
you.
situation. And I hope that really travel doesn't affect a lot in the future. And I willing to see you in the future here.
I can't tell you how much I want to come back to Mexico. I love it there. So yes, I hope to see you there very, very soon.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Adiós.